And we're live.
Okay.
Hello, here in Halifax at the beautiful Central Library. And I'm joined by Linda Lewis, who's Waylon's mom. You've seen her before in the beginning of the course, and we have brought her back to chat writing and meditation today. So we're excited to have her join us. You've got a little sneak peek into Waylon's kitchen there in the background. He's joining us on screen as well. So we're super excited for today, and I know that a lot of you have been excited to get to the writing portion of the Academy as well. So excited to get things kicked off for a new section here. So, Linda, if you'd like to lead a bow.
Yeah,
to start
we'll begin. Good, best posture, sit tall. Feel a sense of space around your head. The groundedness of your seat and feet flat on the floor. So you are joining a sense of heaven with the space of your head and earth with the groundedness of your seat and your feet. And bow out of mutual respect, surrender, and back up. Good. So welcome everybody to this another Elephant Journal Writing Academy session. And since you all, I think, were at a previous session when we concentrated on meditation, we'll go right into the first aspect, the one that you always start with in meditation, and that's mindfulness meditation. And we'll see what writing arises from that both more mindful, more aware space. So we always start with the 6 points of power. Since most of you are sitting on a chair facing the computer, I'll give meditation instruction for sitting on a chair. So your feet are flat on the floor. Your hands are just resting on your thighs, which should relax your arms and your shoulders. To check about your shoulders, just roll them back, roll them backwards once, just because often when you lean forward toward a computer, the opposite happens. Good. Your head is straight in line with your straight back. Now, you may need to adjust your posture so that you're not leaning against the back of the chair. So perhaps move forward an inch. And also, because the gaze is ideally 6 feet downward, you may want to orient your chair away from facing the computer so that the computer is not right in your face. So, I would turn diagonally away from the computer and just listen. We're at a very big table, so we can look diagonally across over the edge of this large table. You're not really focusing on any one point. It's just a soft, relaxed focus. And it's supposed to be a downward gaze. So you're not inviting distraction. And then the final, last point of posture is that you sit with your mouth just slightly parted, as if saying, ah. Now put attention on your breath, your natural breath, and let your mind just follow the rhythm of the breath. Be precise, be one-pointed in resting your mind on the breath. When your mind wanders, you can either silently label it thinking to yourself and return to the breath, or simply just return to the breath without labeling when you realize that you've been thinking and have lost your focus on the breath. So thinking is not bad, it's what we do, but our allegiance is to the breath and the space it takes us to. But it's mindful to acknowledge that you've been off thinking, and it's mindful to put attention on the breath. You're training yourself to place your mind where you want to. This should at least be calming you. If we had more time, it's ideal to rest with attention on the breath until you almost feel one with it. So the boredom is your friend because it slows down the discursive mind. Now begin to boycott the attention on the in-breath, the me breath, the inhalation, but be the breath. Be with the out-breath dissolving into space. As you settle, you don't any longer need to label a thought thinking that can be more clunky than just recognizing you're off and putting your attention back on the next exhalation. By putting your attention on the breath, your focus on the breath dissolves on you as it goes out into space. So for a moment, you have no reference point. And then you need to remember, which is mindful, to put your attention on the next out breath. So you're strengthening your practice of mindfulness. You're taming the wild or lazy mind. Exhale, gap. Exhale, gap. The simplicity slows down discursive mind so that it can focus. Our allegiance is to the space that the breath takes us to. Good. Okay. So it's a little maybe strange to be meditating with a picture on the computer. But if any of you have any questions about meditation, maybe we could entertain 3 questions before going to the writing sample, writing prompt.
I mean, my first question, if I may, is, you know, Elephant Academy is about right livelihood, finding a way to do something for your work, expand your hobby, make it a career, or empower your current career in a genuine way that is a benefit. And, you know, so we talk about editing and writing and social media and all these things. What connection does meditation have to writing?
Well, we don't meditate necessarily just to meditate, but we meditate so that our post-meditation is more mindful and more aware. So whether it's writing or anything else that you're doing in terms of right livelihood, this should make your writing more mindful, vivid, you're more aware of the world, and you're more honest, because especially when we do the next meditation, the awareness, you begin to see things as they are rather than as you would like them to be or how you dislike them.
What was that?
When you see things as they are, it keeps you honest and it keeps you in the present tense, rather than hoping or fearing something or other. So there's all kinds of benefits from daily meditation. And actually, in terms of writing, having a daily practice of mindfulness and awareness meditation and daily practice of writing goes together so beautifully. We'll talk more about that and the awareness impact of it after we do that session of raising the gaze and so on and expanding into awareness. It's a little bit of an answer. Someone else?
Ria asked in the sidebar here, she said, I lost some of what you said. If the in-breath is the me breath, what is the out-breath? Well, this society is just so focused on selfies. And I think if you go like that, you realize that's me, the me breath. And when you go, and I'm exaggerating, obviously, you go out. And so it's more about, in life anyway, post-meditation is more about someone else's instead of self. And that also brings tremendous relief and relaxation. I think physiotherapists, they work on people and then they notice when there is what happens, what they call a releasing breath, which is a natural breath that is an exhalation. But ordinary people can notice that when they just sigh and let go. They give up their agenda. Maybe it's a moment of feeling hopeless, but hopeless in a good way. You give up. So you stop fighting against the way things are. And that sigh is a 1-minute meditation. So I hope that
like a 1 second.
Answers.
You mean 1 second meditation?
1 second meditation. 1 breath meditation.
So there's a.
I also have not had much sleep.
You haven't had what?
It's very cold.
You haven't what?
I also have not had much sleep because it was so cold last night. The furnace was not working.
Yeah, it's no fun in a hot
winter. Feel free to to correct me because I may replay, say the wrong word.
You're fine. It's just the audio is breaking up a little bit. Jen, you're clear. Oh. So if it does get worse, I think you two should just share, but it's fine for now. Oh, is my camera bad?
Yeah, so I have your visual, but your mom doesn't. It might be a connectivity thing.
I think everyone else can see me, right? Annie, why open eyes in the meditation instead of closed eyes? Annie is asking you, Mom.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I know in the yoga tradition, it's a closed eyes tradition, most likely, and you wind up after a whole yoga session, usually in the corpse pose. So Buddhist meditation, Shambhala meditation, is different in that your allegiance is to wakefulness. And so you're not trying to develop a private peace. You're trying to bring whatever calm you do establish into the post-meditation. You're not trying to create a precious private peace. And you're not trying to go to sleep or nap in the corpse pose. You are sitting so that that mindfulness and awareness will continue into the post-meditation. So Hatha yoga has an entirely different purpose, a good one, but an entirely different purpose than Buddhist or Shambhala meditation, which is what I'm trying to present. And also, I believe that the Buddhist and Shambhala meditation is very beneficial for writers because you don't want to be sleepy or, just writing from some kind of cocoon of privacy. Okay, so I think we should move on. Resume your good uplifted posture. Again, shift so that you're not just staring at the computer, and I'll do the same. You're not leaning against the chair. Put attention on the out breath. I want to interrupt myself because I made a mistake. Let's do the mindfulness writing prompt. I apologize.
No worries. Let's do it.
Okay,
So
just sorry if I can just tell people what's going to happen.
I
There's a
think
button right below.
Okay.
So
technical.
once Linda gives the prompt will be posted in Parade for you to comment underneath. So just use the green button below us to get to Parade quickly and easily so that it's not tricky.
Okay. So fresh start, which is also good meditation instruction as well as life instruction. So the first writing prompt is to describe through your 5 senses your very most immediate surroundings, the area no more than that 6 foot in front of you range. Don't worry about how boring that might seem. It might become rather interesting. You might notice things that you didn't notice before. You can start with your chair. What do you feel? As sight and sound will quickly take you far away. So by keeping the sphere of your attention small as the realm of your brief mindfulness meditation, you'll tend to be very specific. Don't worry about things being boring. This is good training. Also, disregard whether you like it or dislike it, whether you like or dislike something in your sensory perception. Simply describe it as it is. What do you feel? What do you taste? What do you smell? What do you see? What do you hear? And maybe, you only are perceiving through 3 of the 5 senses. That's fine. But start small and then expand out to the 6 foot range around you. Okay.
So we're writing about our senses, what we see, hear, touch, taste, etc. in Parade. Is that right?
Yep, so Kenny's posting the prompt right now. And when that prompt goes up, folks would write their response in the comments directly below.
Great.
So if you're not seeing it in Parade, just refresh your screen. And when you do see it, we'll give 3 minutes. We'll give a little warning, and then we'll turn off the comments. And Waylon and Linda will do some feedback.
So this is pretty short.
After.
You're just writing what you're sensing. Is that it?
That's
Okay.
it.
Go nuts.
Okay.
And refresh if you don't see it. And we'll be quiet now.
Should I click on Parade?
I'm going to screen share, so you're going to be able to see it all right in your
If you guys can
video.
while we write, that would be awesome. Or we're just going to write about hearing you guys.
Okay, I'm just going to do this real quick here.
Just mute.
You want me to?
Yeah. Great. Mute when they're done talking
Can you guys mute?
or typing.
You guys mute? You're not muted. You have to mute your computer as well.
It is mute.
No, I can hear you. That's why. There you go. Great. Should we be wrapping up, Jen?
Okay. Okay, can you?
Yes.
Good. So I don't know where the writing samples are going to show up.
It's coming right now.
We'll
Hooray.
wait for them to show up.
Well, everyone just get your sample in whether you're done or not. Your little submission.
Yes,
Go for it.
I don't expect anyone to be complete.
Mom, do you want me to read a couple to you, or how does this work?
Yes, please. Yes,
Okay.
please.
Okay. So I'll read Kate Bessinger's first. I feel cold in my hands and feet and sweat in my armpits as I'm over-caffeinated. I smell people's lunches being warmed up in the break room. I'm in my office as this is my professional development. Score. I see 2 giant computer screens in front of me. I hear people chatting in their offices and the loud clacking of my keyboard as I'm an aggressive typist. I taste a bit of the scrambled eggs with cheese I just ate.
Okay, the beginning of it was great, you know, and being so honest and starting right off with the body and the sensation of the body and what you feel is great. Actually, I want to jump the gun and say I remember Allen Ginsberg saying something about something to the effect that what you least want to share is what the world is dying or bleeding to hear. That's as close to a quote as I can get. But showing that vulnerability, not being embarrassed, that's just honest and vivid writing. Then when you talked about your office and the things, it's up now. In my office, as this is my professional development, that I can't visualize, I can't hear, see, touch. I'm no longer with you there for that little phrase. I see 2 giant computer screens in front of me. Good. I hear people chatting in their office and the loud clacking of my keyboard. That's really good. As I'm an aggressive typist, now that's a judgment. Maybe just say, you know, you could probably get away with like aggressive clacking of my keyboard. But you don't have to label yourself an aggressive typist. We'll talk about that more later, about judgment. I taste a bit of the scrambled eggs with cheese I just ate. It's really quite excellent. There's a little going out and coming back in, but really very, very good.
So I think
Terrific. Next
mom,
one.
my mom is basically,
Yeah.
my mom is basically making the point that, are we echoing? Jen, can one of you 2 mute? I think you're both not muted on the screen. There you go. Or maybe, okay. That you're writing about like the professional development score and the aggressive typist is charming and warm. I enjoyed it, but it's not the exercise. The exercise is simply to talk about, to really almost like a meditation practice in writing to talk about, to notice what you're sensing. Okay,
Right.
want to do number 2?
Next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Heidi Thomas, I am feeling that my out breath is harder to focus on than my in breath. I can smell the remaining permanence, perfume, I don't know, of the innocence that I'm burning. I can hear my 2 dogs loudly play, fighting behind me. And as I turn my chair toward them, I see them wrestling one another on my worn out dirty rug that has reds, yellows, and blue woven into the tapestry. I also feel my cold nose as if I am one of the dogs, a cold, wet nose that smells beyond the innocence. I see the candle flickering next to me. I feel my bladder about to explode from holding my urine too long. Go get a bathroom break. All right.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Excuse me, I just clicked on something wrong. Where is that one, Jen?
I'm putting,
That he
I'm
just
gonna
read.
put all of them in the sidebar.
Gonna
for
put
you.
them in.
Oh, thank you. Then what's this?
Trying to get it to come up so you can see them as well.
Okay.
Let's not worry about it, Jen. Let's just stay on the view of us and I'll copy and paste them in.
Okay,
For sure.
I can't find the
Oh,
exercise.
it's just, you're gonna have to scroll you down here, I think.
Mom,
Yes.
I'm teasing. So I put it in the comments on the side. if you want to reread it.
Yeah, I know, but it wasn't happening. Okay. That's interesting that you find it jumps around.
Guys, if you can just not comment when we're going through the
Oh, sorry. No comments.
submissions there, because what happens is it bumps the text.
Yeah.
Or just show her how to scroll. Why?
Good.
Get on her computer.
Okay, so
Just get
it's
on her
interesting
computer.
that it's an interesting observation that you're finding that the out breath is harder to focus on than the in breath, but it's just a matter of relaxing. That's the meditation aspect of that. But that's in good observation. And then I can smell the remaining something of the innocent. Oh, it must be incense that you're burning. That's fine, good. I can hear the two dogs loudly playing, that's good. You could say more about what kind of dogs, you know, so I could visualize them, and what the sounds are like. Like, are they, you know, groaning or barking a little, or kind of nipping at each other? Is it just tossing around on the carpet? You turn your chair toward them. Then you describe the rug quite well. Feel your cold nose as if there were, okay, good. Cold nose, smell beyond the incense. I see the candle flickering next to me, good. I feel my bladder about to explode from yeah, okay. So that's actually pretty good. One of the main things I would say, you know, is it's very lively, obviously, that you have your dogs close by. And so once you went there, I kind of did want to know more about that and what was really going on there since you brought me there. But it was kind of dropped. So, you know, are they Irish setters or poodles, or, you know, more about the sounds that they're making and so forth. But a good exercise. One more?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch more if you want to do a few, but
Okay.
I'll give you one. I'm not going to read it out loud since you're reading the comments, so just go for it.
I don't mind you reading it while we're getting it up. That's
Okay.
actually helpful.
Jennifer Sullivan Morrow. I am seeing too many computers, lots of paper. It's a sense of overwhelm that there's too much to do, and I don't feel like I can overcome the day's workload. Behind me, I have a beautiful view of a snow-capped mountain. I can hear my son talking, who will be flying out today, and it makes me sad. I have my desk heater on to keep me warm, and I have a very sad vision board to my left that is not inspiring because I haven't made time for it to be so.
Okay, so, oops, there it went again. So I can turn this, I can do that myself now. Thank you. Okay. Wait, that's not the right one.
Up again there.
Yeah,
I want to go up.
just be on my mom's computer and scroll for her if it's scrolling around. Mom, just let Jen.
It's jumping up and down.
Here, this is the one.
Okay.
Here.
Okay. I am seeing too many computers. So right away, there's a little bit of a judgment. The idea is through the senses to see things as they are. So you may feel that way, and that's an emotional feeling as opposed to a sensory feeling of the table is cool. So that's a good, we learn from each other's mistakes. So perhaps that was confusing. When you're feeling through the senses, it's different than feeling emotionally sad. I am seeing too many computers. You see, I don't know whether that's 2 or 3 or 4 or a room full of them. I can relate to seeing lots of paper. My table in my kitchen is always loaded with different notebooks and paper. And it's a sense of overwhelm. So again, you're going to the emotional level that there's too much to do and I don't feel like I can overcome the day's workload. So that's not sensory. The wonderful thing about sensory sensory perception puts you in the moment, puts you in the present tense. When you're emotional, you tend to slide into the future or dwell on the past. So, you know, Blake called the senses the windows of the soul, which bring you into the present moment. And so treat yourself to being in the present moment, not dwelling on the emotional content right now. So behind me, I have a beautiful view. Beautiful, I can't see beautiful. Behind me, I have a view of, probably you mean, a snow-capped mountain. Wonderful. So that's great. Needs to know beautiful. Snow-capped mountain. That's fantastic. I can hear my son talking, who will be flying out today. I like that, Peter Pan. And it makes me sad. There's the emotional content again. I have my desk heater on to keep me warm, so you're back in your body again. And I have a very sad vision board to my left that is not inspiring me because I have made time for it to be so. So you're oscillating between the emotional type feeling, which isn't part of the exercise, and the sensory. So try to be more in the sensory and try to start from your body in the present tense and move out. You'll have a second chance with the second exercise.
This is just a powerful exercise, folks, to realize how much we are judging, which isn't bad. It's not bad to judge, but how much we're observing and judging and commenting on what we're seeing and how little we're actually directly seeing or smelling or touching or tasting or whatever. So let's do one more, if you don't mind, Mom, because I think this is like this is to me where you see the meditation come together. Writing. So here's Kathy Hart. This is a powerful one because it's a bit emotional in a sense. Oh, do you want me to read it?
Yes, please.
Kathy Hart. My heart is racing despite many deep breaths as I discovered something very unsettling moments before this class began. I am sweating and regretting not using my deodorant this morning. My senses seem to be paralyzed as my mind is frozen with emotion. My only goal is to focus on breathing and faith.
Okay, so my heart is racing. Believe it or not, that's very good because that's you're honestly describing what's going on, despite your deep breaths. Sometimes it takes a while. Okay, and then as I discovered something very unsettling moments before this class began. Okay, that's not the exercise, but sometimes you just need to let it out. I'm sweating and regretting not using my deodorant this morning. Okay, so I'm sweating is all I need to know. You know, don't judge yourself. You know, that's sliding back into emotion. My senses seem to be paralyzed as my mind is frozen with emotion. Okay, so slow down and notice the first thing. Don't worry about it being boring or not. You are using your eyes. You do have a sense of smell. You can hear. So let those senses empower you. In Tibetan, it's really interesting that, you know, Wayland's not going to be interested in this, but the senses are called Wangpo, and it's the same word for power. So what I'm pointing out is from the Tibetan view, when you use your senses, you're empowering yourself. So they're the avenues to sanity. So use your senses and your mind will be unparalyzed. I promise you. Although, as my teacher would say, there's no guarantee. Okay, but focusing on the breathing, that is the way. That is the way that meditation, sensory perception more possible. So, okay.
So if I can just make a quick
Yes.
admin note here.
Yes.
So guys, the reason that we're doing it this way and closing the comments in Parade is so that we can then do this feedback piece. So it's really important that once you're done and once we say enter your comments, that you enter them quick so they get in. We will open it back up in Parade after the meeting so that then people can go back in and comment on one another and maybe respond if you didn't get a chance to while we were live. But just if you can, please refrain from putting your submissions in the sidebar because it does make the text jump and it's a little difficult to read from your side here.
Yeah, we're like playing with the up and down like a teeter-totter. Okay, so now we really are going to do the awareness meditation. Cool. So again, resume your good uplifted posture. Put attention on the out breath. Now gradually raise your gaze, allowing the mindfulness, that one-pointed mindfulness, to expand into awareness of the atmosphere or space of the room. Your attention's on the out breath, and it dissolves into the space. And if we had a long period of time and you were a beginning meditation student, you would find that your gaze naturally would raise. So it's good to know that you can raise your gaze beyond the 6 feet downward. Now, if your mind is very distracted, you can lower your gaze, get more settled, and then raise it again. Sounds and any movements are now perceived as just moments of nowness, not distractions. They're included in the practice, as long as you don't follow after them or fixate on them. Allow whatever restlessness exists to relax into cool boredom. Each time that the breath goes out and dissolves into space is a moment free from reference point, a gap. So you're being a human being. You're not being a human doing. Good. So now we'll do a writing exercise based on the meditation, the awareness meditation.
Great. So what's that? What's that?
So, writing through the five senses again, as specifically as you can. Write down again what you perceive, starting with yourself, and expand your awareness out like ripples in a pond expanding from a stone that's been tossed in. So start with yourself, and then your sense perceptions as they expand out. Avoid opinions. You're just writing through the senses, your sense perceptions, and keep your fingers clicking. First thought, best thought. No need to embellish. Be specific. Enjoy just your senses. And write vividly. Avoid generic words like dog, which I get an idea of, but I don't visualize. I can't really see what kind of dog. So go for it.
Wait. So what are we writing? Awareness? Like what we're seeing farther out?
Yes. Yes, but starting with the self again and then moving beyond, like ripples in a pond.
But how is this?
As far as your awareness.
How?
As far as your awareness
Sorry.
went.
How is this different from the last one where we were saying we were noticing what we were hearing or seeing or whatever?
Well, hearing and seeing take you far fast.
Oh, okay.
The idea of the first one was to stay within the sphere of 6 feet, which is your downward gaze.
Okay.
And this is awareness with the lifted gaze. You can have a lot more.
Okay, great.
It's training, you know. I mean, it sounds really boring. It sounds very similar,
it's
but
great.
it's different.
I got confused a little on the first. Great. So we refresh on parade and we should see it, I bet.
Yep.
Yeah, at the top. No, I don't see it. Okay, I see it. Let's go for it.
Okay. Okay.
Great. Can you see all the writings, Mom?
Not yet.
No.
Did I read you?
Yes, please.
Okay. All righty. I'll give you.
Yeah, that's okay because they can hear me through yours.
Okay.
Thanks.
Everyone, let's put your things in. We don't want to wait and have people multitasking, so let's just relax and put your thing in. Okay, I put one in. Shoot.
Is that yours, Waylon?
No, this is
My eyes are tired.
This is Candace Urbanski. My eyes are tired. My heart is pounding and my shoulders are tense and held tightly up to my ears. The shoulders drop as the meditation practice moves on. I see my boys playing Xbox, several puzzle pieces askew on the floor. The dog mills about, sniffing the floor for something good he may find. The sounds of the TV are vivid and clear, too clear as I bring my mind back to the meditation practice.
Okay. So you're feeling that your eyes are tired. That's good. Your heart is pounding. That's very vivid. Shoulders are tense and held tightly up to my ears. Oh. Shoulders drop as the meditation practice moves on. Good. I see my boys playing Xbox. Now that you've expanded out, it would be great to describe your children as much as possible, and making and where they are in the room. Several pieces askew on the floor. The dog mills about, sniffing the floor for something good he may find. I like that a lot, but I'd like to be able to see your dog. In other words, when you're writing, you're not just writing for yourself, but you're writing so that the reader can bear witness with you, even if it's something as small as, seemingly small as your little lifey in your room. We want to enter into your world when we're reading. So the sounds of the TV are vivid and clear, too clear, as bring my mind back to meditation practice. Okay, so there was a lot of good there, especially when you were talking about your body, and there's more room for improvement, more detail, more specifics, more vivid writing. Okay, next one.
Oh, okay, I can grab one there. Let's see.
We're trying to find one.
So Kaylee Sedler says, my quick inhale, the focus to have more breath than what time gives. The long breath out to push and exhaust, to feel, to control. The air feels full of pressure of time, the pressure on my shoulders to let go. My hips upon the mat comfortable, but not in its true comfort. My body springs energy, but my mind exhausts. It wants to move. The focus to breathe in and breathe out. The anxiety and sweat of what is to come and what has come. My mind wanders to hopes of a future. My future is a vision upon a board, all the travels, hopes, and dreams I wish to breathe into my life. The cool feel of the rooms, the color of calm, a smooth ocean color, one that surrounds you with a sense of relax and envelops one in serenity. My mind fast forwards to the days to come and anxiety of what is beyond. My breath is at ease compared to my mind. My mind is a traveler wanting to run and find secret treasures hidden. So I breathe out to focus and breathe in the moment. I wish to pause within my mind.
Well, you wrote a lot.
In a short time. Yeah, that's
let's
what
see.
I was thinking.
I'm trying to move this down so I can see it. Jen, can you help me?
Yeah, it's got.
I've got it here.
So he's got it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So when you're writing, you're writing now in these exercises. So I know that you do seem, you feel like you don't have enough time to do what you need to, but you only have the moment, each moment to moment to moment. So talking about time isn't through the senses. The long breath out to push and exhaust. Okay, so you're breathing naturally in meditation. So you're not trying to do any kind of effortful breathing. And it's not about control. It's about just relaxing. The air feels full of pressure of the time, pressure on my shoulders to let go. So again, time, you could just say you feel pressure on your shoulders. Sensory perceptions. Now, it's interesting, you're sitting on a mat, so I should not assume that everyone's sitting on a chair. So you're comfortable, that's good, but not in its true comfort. Comfortable, but not in its true comfort. I don't know what that means. My body springs energy, but my mind exhausts. It wants to move. I think you're just describing some kind of restlessness, the focus to breathe in and breathe out, the anxiety and sweat of what is to come and what has come. So then you're going off into time again and having a difficulty staying in the present moment through the sense perceptions. If you open your sense perceptions, you will be in the present moment. And there's a timelessness in that. So, just as your breath expands into space, free from reference point, your mind can become spacious. My mind wanders to hopes of a future. See, this is not sensory. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you taste? What do you feel as in touch? My future is a vision. See, you're off again. The cool feel of the rooms. Okay. The color of calm. I think I can't emphasize enough sensory perceptions. I'm going to sound totally redundant, but your five senses, as William Blake instructs us, as windows of the soul, open them, please. Smooth ocean color, one that surrounds you with a sense of relax and envelops one in serenity. You do not need to write in a pretty way or to embellish or to try to contrive. This is like vivid reality as it is, even stark. Like when you read a Hemingway novel, there's hardly any adjectives or adverbs. It's just telling it like it is. My mind fast forward, you're off again. My breath is an ease compared to my mind. My mind is a traveler. I'm so sorry, I don't want to be critical, but sensory perception. Okay, next one.
Mom, yeah. So, it's not even that anything's wrong with it, obviously. It's fine to be critical, but it's that it's not the sensory perception. So that's the exercise here. And our tendency is to embellish everything and try to make it pretty or tell a story. And that's a fine tendency when you're writing. But right now we're doing a mindfulness or awareness exercise, which trains our writing to reflect reality or truth directly, which is also similar and related to journalism. So, and meditation. So I got one for you, Mom.
Okay.
I love that. I don't want to color your, say whatever you want, but Ellen Serfati. I feel I'm going to copy paste it so you can read it as I go.
Thank you.
Oh, shoot, a little bit long. I thought it was shorter, but
I think so.
there you go. See it?
Oh, yes. Yes, thank you.
I feel some face sag below my eyes, tiredness at the end of the day. My ears and side of my head are throbbing. The left side of my face is warmer and achier. My right a little bit taut and feels fuller. My right ear is being pulled toward the ceiling. I have a shadow on my right eye, some dancing spots. My back is aching a bit around my buttocks. As soon as I notice, I go into a stretch. My feet are cold. I want my socks. My shoulders are a bit tight. They need some movement. My right foot is crossed over my left to keep it warm, and my big toe feels gigantic. The light is flickering.
Perfect. A totally 100% sensory perception. And what that does is it allows me to be with you. I can see you. I can feel what you feel empathetically. And so I'm able to be with you. You know, it's like saying, I mean, you've done a beautiful job. This is exactly what to do. And it's so honest, but it's like saying, instead of healthy child, you say child with pink cheeks. You're setting, you're through your senses, you're describing something so that the reader can see that it's a healthy child, if you see what I mean, rather than you just telling it for me. So you're showing, and I'm right there with you. I mean, the left side of my face is warmer and achier. It's so vivid. You know, it's a total portrait. So bravo. Okay. So now.
Just one question on, is that one too mindfulness instead of awareness? Like, it's all very close, right?
It's all very close, but if she had more time, I have the feeling that she would have continued to expand out like ripples in a pond. So if your senses are so acutely open, right up close, yeah, you can write the whole 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Just on that. But most people aren't capable of doing what she did. That's excellent.
Actually, like reading most of the posts in this one, it feels like people are starting to get the exercise. Can we just do one more short one here?
Sure.
We're over time. So Jeff Pepos, train horn distant, augmented fourth, F and B note, could be F minor, I don't remember, and C, is getting closer and the pitch rises. I count with my right pointer and index fingers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 vertebrae, between 6 and 7, a pain between, cold sip of coffee, bitter, I feel grease on my face.
Okay, so train horn distant, I can understand how you put that first because that's probably happening right as you write. Augmented fourth, F and B note. You're a musician, could be F sharp and C. So that's fine. It's getting closer and the pitch rises. Obviously, you're following after the sense perceptions, which you can do in the meditative exercise, the writing exercise. I count with my right pointer and index fingers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 vertebrae, between 6 and 7, a pain between. So you're being very precise as you return back to your body before expanding out again. Good. Cold sip of coffee. Bitter. I feel grease on my face. So, yeah, and you can write in full sentences too. But this is fine. You're jotting down your sense perceptions.
All right.
So that's good. Okay.
Next.
So we have about 4 minutes.
Yeah, we're a crunch, and so this may wind up being more like homework assignment. But this is now an imaginative exercise, a creative exercise. Sometimes an author will begin a novel or a short story with some detail, usually the setting, the scene. And sometimes this author might omit details about the subject or the protagonist to make us curious. So I'm going to read you the first 2 lines, and I think you've got them on your computer, of a book. Not a great book, but it's just a book I picked, that I'd like you to turn it into your story, continuing to write vividly and to describe what or who this male being is. There's no correct answer. There's no correct subject. This is your story. So I'll read the opening lines and then you can start writing. He came out of the dark line of trees and walked to the cool mountain stream, standing for a moment in a small eddy, cooling his feet. He was big, gray, and old, but still powerful. So take off from there and write. Should I repeat it one more time?
We're going to put it Facebook.
So what we might in this.
So you're writing through the senses, but you're allowing your imagination to describe what this male being is, who's coming out of the dark line of trees, walking to the cool mountain stream, standing for a moment.
So because we're short on time, what we'll do is we'll post this up in Facebook for people to comment on, perhaps at their leisure later on today. And I did just want to end really quickly with a speed round question for both you and Waylon. Since we're at the beginning of writing month, if you had 30 seconds to give your best possible advice for writers, what would you say?
Write every day, ideally meditate every day, and do writing exercises every day, because both of those things really love continuity, love practice. Entertain the idea of bearing witness. Even if you're writing by yourself in your own room, what do you really see apart from your likes and dislikes? You know, train yourself to see things as they are without emotional overlay. Reading develops writing. So any author that you love, read, but there's no way to find your voice in writing like actual writing practice. Go to a cafe and listen to dialogue and interruptions and the style of people, the different pace and usage that people speak. So I'm sort of giving random advice, but it's helpful to have a place to meditate, and it's helpful to have a place to write in your home. If you neglect it or ignore those places, they'll tend to haunt you, which is a good thing, and will beckon you to write. Write on topics that you have a passion about. When I say passion about, don't forget to be factual, research, stick to the facts. You can write from the point of view of moral outrage, but, you know, don't go so overboard that you're biased. You're ignoring other facts that counter your argument, perhaps. And in terms of mindfulness and awareness, will develop your inquiry and empathy, which are important in investigating anything. So if you want to be a journalist, that's very crucial. Yeah, also a good training is to write from the point of view of 3 different perspectives. You could write a story from 3 different perspectives, you know, 3 different characters' point of view. And that's beginning to train you in a playful way to see things from other people's point of view, and that enables you better in life to make bridges to people who don't share your point of view, don't confirm your point of view.
Yeah.
I think that's all the time.
No, that was great.
I'm sure I've gone over.
Waylon, do you have
No, I have a
anything
lot
you
I
would
would
add?
add, but we're
That
out
was
of
pretty
time. I think
thorough,
that was
but-
super helpful. Thank you, Linda, and thank you, Jen. And if everyone wants to say how today was for you honestly, and offer up a little love in the comments, please do. Jen, any final homework or anything?
Yeah, so just from our side, the Academy side, wanted to mention that we have gone into the LMS discussion boards. We have commented on your journalism ethics projects. So if you haven't been back in there since you've written them, go in and have a look at our comments, comment on the projects of your peers. And next week, we have a guest lecture with Ada Calhoun
So Ada,
for our second meeting for writing.
Ada, like
So
my mom and everyone else we
that's
have,
exciting.
is an accomplished author. She's a pretty big deal. So check out her book or books beforehand, please, even if you just read a paragraph. If you come to the meeting without knowing her voice, you're going to be missing out on half the meeting. Even if you read some of her modern love articles. So she wrote the most viral modern love articles of one of the years, whenever she wrote them. So read some Ada Calhoun. She's a big deal. New York Times, New Yorker, books, etc. Thank you so much, Mom. Good luck with your heat and your furnace and everything to you. And Jen, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Hope you got a lot out of this. And we always love hearing from you if this is helpful. We do offer some mindfulness, which connects to the meditation, which connects to the writing, which connects to journalism. It's all about truth. So this is a rare offering, and hopefully it's not totally out of left field like it connects in left field right here. So thank you so much. And maybe Mom, can you lead us out with a bow?
Sure, and thanks again, Jen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Waylon. Okay, good posture. Feel the space around you. Feel the groundedness. And surrender, give. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Thanks,
you, Mom.
everyone.
Thank you, Mommy. Love you. Thank you, Jen. I like you very,